as introduced, I'm representing now the Polish Academy of Sciences, but previously for 15 years I have been a Polish national contact point and responsible for the collaboration with the Polish researchers and companies and supporting them to the successful submission and obtaining the project from the framework programs. So my experience is reaching up to the 7th framework program. I was also in charge throughout the Horizon 2020 and currently as well at the beginning of the Horizon Europe. And today in my presentation, I would like to provide you a few information related to the framework program, which is the Horizon Europe. But in particular, I would like to focus on the widening package as asked by the organizers. And of course, I would like to thank you very much for the invitation to this event and the opportunity to provide you with the relevant information. Okay, so I believe you are all familiar with Horizon Europe. Are you? Is not in principle. Oh, wow. Okay. So Horizon Europe is a framework program which is implemented by the European Commission and the Executive Agency. It is the biggest instrument which is financing research and innovation projects directly from the EU central level. The budget of the current perspective, which started 2020 and will end 2027, is of 95.5 billion euros. So it's a significant amount to support your research activities and innovation activities. This is the composition of the program. So in principle, the program supports the entire cycle of research. So there is money for the basic research, the rocket science, which is the ERC, so the European Research Council. I believe with that term you are very much familiar. Here are the money as well for staff exchange, which is the Marii Skłodowska-Curie, the budget for the research infrastructure, so providing you the opportunity to access the world and the European top research infrastructure. Then we have as well the entire package of global challenges and European industrial competitiveness, which is about to support research projects and the research and innovation projects. So here there is the possibility to finance your research, which are the, let's say, basic research, but also the research and development activities. So the possibility of develop the prototype, the possibility of testing the prototype, demonstrating these, but also to elaborate and prepare the projects which should be in the future commercialized. And here the projects shall be performed in the project consortium. So Horizon Europe in principle is a European or the international tool. So here a must is an international collaboration. The consortium which is submitting the proposal here should consist of at least 3 entities from 3 different EU member states or associated countries. We have a very large group of associated countries currently, which is of course like the countries like, for example, Tunisia, like, for example, Norway, like Armenia, like Georgia, hopefully soon the Ukraine. Yesterday I find out that also New Zealand started the talks on being associated with Horizon Europe. And here under the global challenges you have 6 topics, and under these topics there are call for proposals launched. There are not bottom-up, there are top-down, so you have to go through the documents which are called the work programs published by the European Commission, and within these documents you will be able to find relevant topics under the, for example, health, culture, creativity, inclusive society, civil security for society, digital industry and space, climate, energy and mobility, and food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment. And then we have a third pillar, which is the Innovative Europe. It is about mostly about the startups and the companies and merging or linking the startups with, or the industry, let's say, with academia. It's about the European Innovation Council. I think here an instrument which could be interesting for you is called EIC Pathfinder. This is about to finance the project which are based on the technology readiness level between 1 and 4. So again, here, a basic research, allowing you to develop the prototype. And here there are 2 pathways. So one is a bottom-up, it's you, so the consortium is deciding on what you want to work, or also here could be as well a top-down topics, which, for example, in the last year were related to the quantum technologies, or let's say some medical technologies or the brain research. Then we have, let's say, European Institute of Innovation and Technology, EIT, and the KICs, which are scattered over throughout Europe, and they are offering many opportunities, in particular for, let's say, spin-off companies or startup companies, or let's say the projects which are performed in the collaboration between business and academia. And last but not least, we have as well this widening participation and strengthening the European research area package, the so-called WIDERA package. And in my presentation, I will in particular focus here on this package. This is a special package which provides the opportunity for the collaboration, in particular between, let's say, the countries who are lagging behind in research and innovation, such as Central Eastern Europe, but not only, like Portugal, for example, or some specific associated countries, with the advanced partners within the European research and innovation area. So it was about the Horizon Europe in a very nutshell. Let's see how is it going. So, as mentioned by me at the beginning, the budget was 95.5 billion euros. The program was implemented in 2020, so we have already more than 2 years of its implementation. 14 billion euros have been spent, so there is still a significant amount on the table for you to apply. So far, more than 4,800 projects have been financed, and there are with more than 13,000 participants. So you see the significant amount. Then, for whom is the project? For whom is the program? So who can apply? So as you see, the major group of entities who is applying are the higher education, from the higher education sector. So this means the universities simply. Then we have as well research institute. These are this RIC, 29%. We have the private, which are the big companies. And we have a small and medium-sized enterprises as well. Here we have the other companies, such as, for example, NGOs, and as well the public institutions are eligible here. So basically, every entity which is performing research and innovation activities can apply here. Individual researchers as well in certain selected schemes, such as, for example, European Research Council. It is the principal investigator who is presenting his or her proposition, or Marie Skłodowska-Curie, where we have the individual fellowships, where an individual researcher can jointly with an institution provide, let's say, a project related to the internship going for 2 years to the other institution all over the world. And the top 5 countries in performers are Germany, Spain, France, Italy, and the Netherlands. What is very important now, we are in a very crucial moment, because currently the work programs, so the documents where all the topics and the call for proposals are will be presented, are currently under the finalization process. So they should be launched November, December. And if you would be interested in application, you should really pay attention to the web pages of the European Commission or your national contact points in your countries, because they will provide you with the information where those documents will be launched. You can go through it and you can find the topics of the calls or the calls which will be interesting for you. This is also an interesting statistics, because previously I told you about the countries, the top 5 countries, and here you can see the top 10 organizations who are the most successful in Horizon Europe currently. So you see the Centre National de la Recherche Scientifique from France, Cost Association, so basically the advanced organization throughout the European research and innovation area. Some observations. So after these first years of the implementation of the program, we can observe, as you saw as well on the statistics, that the majority of funds is allocated to the advanced partners. What does it mean for us in practice? It means if you are establishing a project consortium, it's good to have one of the advanced partners on board because they have experience, they know how to provide, how to prepare the project, and also they are their success rates are higher. Unclear status of the UK. This is a problem. As you know, what's happened after the Brexit was also tackling the European research and innovation. Because previously, the UK was, as a member state, could apply, of course, under the Horizon 2020, and it was the most successful country under the certain statistics. Currently, the status is unclear, so either it will be an associated country or, basically, hopefully it will be an associated country, but at this moment it's not so. It's treated like a third country. Yes? So the researchers and research institutions from UK are not eligible for funding, unfortunately. We had some delays in the implementation of selected parts of Horizon Europe as well. So some work programs, the previous ones, so the 21, 2022, were implemented with a slight delay. But this is, I believe, good for us because we have the majority of the budget available now. And what is important as well, this is a focus on synergies. So this is in particular important for the countries of the Central and Eastern Europe, because we have as well there the availability of the structural funds, the ESIF, and the whole idea is to build a kind of a map between Horizon Europe and those other funds in order to create a leverage and to make the greater use of the funds supporting research and innovation. Implementation of a lump sum model. So far, I would say almost 100% of the calls under the Horizon Europe was implemented in a model of, let's say, the real costs. So you have to declare while preparing your proposal how much you want to spend on research, how much you want to spend on innovation, on salaries, traveling, other goods and services, subcontracting. And now the lump sum model is something different. So you don't have to specify all the cost categories, you just have to present your idea and say the total will cost that much. It's a simplification on one hand, but on the other hand, it's quite, at the beginning, it's really important to understand how is it working. Okay, and now I would like to come to the widening package. So widening package is a 3.3% of the budget of the Horizon Europe. And what is very important, basically, we can observe in the past, starting from the 5th framework program, 6th framework program, 7 and the Horizon 2020, that the participation of the certain countries is really lagging behind. So if you go to the statistics and dig deeper, you can see that the countries of the Central Eastern Europe, Portugal, they extract only 5% of the budget. So there was a decision of the European institution to create a special measures to somehow ensure the inclusion of those countries on one hand, and on the other hand, as well to enable them building the capacities and let's say fostering their excellence in order to enable them the successful collaboration with advanced partners. That is why widening package was created. But then there is a special additional criteria for evaluation in Horizon Europe. So your project, regardless under which scheme you will apply, will be assessed under the 3 evaluation criteria, which is excellence. Then this is the so excellence, what you want to do, the idea. Then this is the implementation, then this is the impact, so why you want to do, which influence will have it on the research as such, on the society, on climate, depending of course on the area you will tackle, on the hospitals. And last but not least, implementation, how you want to do it, who will do it, how much money you want to do it, with whom you will collaborate, how you will establish this collaboration. So these are the 3 main evaluation criteria. But believe me, the competition is really, really high, and sometimes there are calls where the success rate is, I don't know, 6%, 10%. Sometimes it is, of course, 25, 30%. You will see it later. But normally, let's say the competition is really high. So when there is a ranking list, you will see the proposals which will be equally scored under the evaluation, impact, implementation. So then some additional criteria have to be applied in order to select the best proposals. And this additional criteria, one of them is geographical balance. So the evaluators will have a look on the composition of your consortium. And the project which is having the most balanced consortium, so covering different area of the European research area, will be successful. The other additional criteria, which is very important, is gender. So here again, it's really we have a revolution in framework programs in regard to the gender. So it's very important to have a gender balance, 1:1 really, because it's really taken into consideration. Then what is very important under this widening package, so these are the special, let's say, measures where an entity, research organization from widening countries should be a coordinator. Because normally if you have a project consortium, you have a coordinator and partners. The 3 is the minimum, you can have more, as much theoretically as you can, but of course it all depends on the topic and on the budget. And these coordinators in widening package, these are the countries which I will show you a bit later. And what is very important, you can as well finance some research activities here. So widening countries are here, as you see, they're mentioned as the member state countries, but also you have the associated countries. This is a wide range of those associated countries, like Faroe Island, like Tunisia, the Western Balkan countries, all of them are associated, Armenia, Georgia, hopefully Ukraine. Morocco started the negotiation process with Horizon Europe. So here it's a big range, plus outermost region of France, Spain, so Canary Island, and the Portugal, like for example the Madeira. And here are the instruments I would like to present you in a nutshell. So what I will present to you is coming from the documents which are almost finalized, but still under the little, let's say, fine-tuning. But is, let's say, the informal, but I think it's important for you to have the first-hand knowledge on that. So first of all, okay, maybe just like to give you a wider overview, what is the widening package? So what can be financed here? It has 2 destinations. One is related to the improved access to excellence. So this package is about to build up research and innovation capacities in widening countries and provide institutions research institutions with widening countries the opportunity to collaborate with the advanced partners and exchange knowledge, experience, not only to research, but also, let's say, to research management, for example, or how to manage gender issues, or how to manage the HR strategy, and so on. So exchange all these issues and, let's say, enable the transfer of know-how and experience. And last but not least, as well, to enable the reforms in widening countries. Then to make, let's say, European research more or less at the equal level. Because if you go to the statistics like European Innovation Scoreboard, you can see as well that there are discrepancies. And last but not least, as well, to develop a pan-European innovation ecosystem. Then we have destination 2, is attracting and mobilizing the best talents. This is quite important because Europe as such is also suffering to some extent the leaking of talents to other parts of the world, depending of course on the research area. But inside Europe, we can see as well a huge discrepancies. So we are suffering a huge talent leaking from Central Eastern Europe to the advanced partners countries. And those measures here are also about to attract the talents from all over the world and offer them not only, let's say, competitive salary, but also the conditions to create their own groups, to do their research, to provide them the access to the infrastructure. So here it is about to build a kind of a critical mass. Free circulation of knowledge and upgrading the research and innovation systems to develop the skills of the researchers and research managers. It's also very important. And last but not least, as well, to connect all the actors. So here the connectivity, like the twinning project, are very important. Here are the measures, so the call for proposals, which will be announced in 2023-2024, Teaming for Excellence, Twinning, European Excellence Initiative, Pathways to Synergies, Dissemination Exploitation Support Facility, HOPON, Excellence Hub, ERA Chairs, ERA Fellowships, and ERA Talents. Let's see. You will be delivered this. You will receive this presentation, so you will be able to go through in details to these instruments. But what is, in a nutshell, like from the, let's say, overview? Teaming is about establishing an excellent research institution in a widening country, with help of advanced partners. So this consortium is obtaining 15 million euros from Horizon Europe, but it has to be granted as well the same amount from their national or regional authorities. So imagine an institution which has 30 million euros for its disposal to create a research and innovation agenda, to hire top researchers from all over the world, to hire the top administration staff and research managers from all over the world, and also to create links, collaboration links with the regional ecosystem, with the industry, with, I don't know, hospitals, plus to build international research. So it's a lot of money. Huh? Why is that? To create top research institution who will be able to collaborate with their counterparts in advanced partners on one hand, but also on the other hand, to ensure the competitive advantage of Europe under the research and innovation. Now, twinning. Twinning is about networking. It's about networking over a certain research area. So here the consortium should should consist of research institutions, and those institutions have the possibility to build the links, the networks, and let's say upgrade a certain research area. Now the ERA Chairs. ERA Chairs is about taking on board an excellent researcher from all over the world. And this researcher should be given a freedom to create his or her research team, to reform a part of the institution, because it's coming to the institution not as a, let's say, rector or as a director, but let's say as a professor who will be in charge of a certain research area and should somehow facilitate this research area within this institution. Excellence hubs it is about connecting innovation ecosystems consisting of various entities. So research is here, industry is here, let's say other sector is here, public bodies are here, and from the different countries they should starting the collaboration and present a kind and let's say facilitate the ecosystems further to enable the blooming of the research. And excellence universities, this is for the network of the European universities to, of course, make them more excellent. Now, the Teaming for Excellence, the consortium should consist of two partners at least. This is an exception. So the coordinator from one country and the advanced partner. As mentioned, up to 15 million euros from Horizon Europe, plus the same amount from national or ESIF funding. And this is the tentative call schedule. So the deadline for the call is the 7th of April. And because this proposal consists of, let's say, two-stage application. This is an important thing I would like to mention to you, that while applying to Horizon Europe, you have two modes of application. At least half of or even more than half of the calls means that you are submitting the entire full proposal. And that's it, you are waiting for the evaluation. But then you have the calls as well with this two-stage evaluation. So it means that firstly, you are just submitting your idea, your research idea. This should be up to, I don't know, 10 pages maximum. How is it, so what you want to do, with whom you want to do, without the budget estimation, without the, let's say, technical details. And this will be assessed. Firstly, if the evaluators likes your idea and they see it's feasible and it's important, you will be only then invited to prepare the full proposal. And then you are preparing the full proposal and submitting. On one hand, it saves your time and also resources. But of course, on the other hand, the evaluation process is longer and you have to wait a bit longer for your grant. Then the twinning. Twinning so far was fully bottom-up. So, as I mentioned, this is the networking of the research institutions. And it was about the network of those, of the consortium, which area they want to tackle. Now the Commission decided somehow to fine-tune it. So we have two approaches. One is still the bottom-up. So you can, let's say, submit the proposals under the area you are interested in. And this is the full range, starting from, let's say, quantum technologies, brain research, medical devices, but also socio-economic and humanities, gender, literature, religion, and so on. So here, really, this instrument is covering the full range. But then we have a second approach, which is about the twinning Green Deal. So in particular, in this stream, the proposals which are contributing to reaching the goals of the Green Deal, so basically the environmental goals, should be submitted. And here this grant should be performed, and the proposal should be prepared in a lump sum mode. So you don't have to prepare a detailed budget, just say what you want and how much you want for this. The proposals, the budget for a single project is between 0.8 and 1.5 million euros, and 30% of this budget can be dedicated to research. And at least 50% of this budget, of the research budget, should stay at the coordinator side, and the rest can be scattered between the other partners. This is the tentative call schedule, so 25th April the call will be open, and 28th September you will be, this is the deadline of the call, so you will be able to prepare to submit the proposal. Then the ERA-chair, so the researcher who is coming to the institution and being hired by the institution, offered a really competitive salary and also conditions to establish the research groups, to perform the research agenda he or she will want. This is a mono-beneficiary proposal. This is also an exception. So a research institution in widening countries, in collaboration with this researcher, will apply. So how is it working? So basically it is about the research institution who is looking for such a researcher, and they then will prepare a proposal, but also it can be that the researcher is looking for opportunities in widening countries and jointly with this institution preparing the proposal. The budget is up to 2.5 million euros per project, so it's quite a lot. Again, here is a lump sum, and it is very important, really, that the research, the ERA-chair, so the professor, will be able to establish its team, his or her team, and no more than 50% of this team should have a contractual links with the coordinator. So the people can go from abroad. Yes, I see. This is the tentative call schedule. Excellence Hub, so is about merging research and innovation ecosystems, up to 5 million euros. This is quite important scheme because they said here that if you will include also a special mentoring scheme for Western Balkan or Ukraine or Eastern Partnership, you will be able to get more money. Also, the consortium will be able to provide so-called grants, small grants to other researchers or to other companies who will perform and implement the goals the consortium wants, the tentative call schedule. Pathways to Synergies, a new scheme which allows which allows you to make a use of the projects which were being implemented under the ESIF so far. So if you had a such project and you have the results, you can apply for this to make those results, let's say, being implemented. Hop-on facility, this is something interesting, because this is about the projects from the second pillar, so all the thematic area I show you, with no partners from widening countries. So whenever there is a successful consortium, they can obtain extra up to 0.6 million euros to include a partner from a widening countries, to take a partner from a widening countries on board. But only the condition is if they are already successful with the proposal. So the project is running. And here are the deadlines. ERA Talents, an interesting as well scheme which allows you to, let's say, make a staff exchange between academic and non-academic sector within the area you are interested in. So here should be at least 3 partners. It should be academia and the industrial partners, and then here you have the money to ensure, let's say, the staff exchanges. So the researcher can go to company, to an industry field and doing, let's say, the development there, but then coming back to the research institution, and the other way around. This scheme allows as well bringing people from industry on board to academia and to do jointly some research and innovation projects. Up to 3 million euros per project, a lump sum again, and the call schedule. And just my last slides, because I can see that the time is running out. So here are the first numbers. I think this is quite interesting for you. This is the twinning, because I know that the SYLINDA is a twinning project. So this is the first call under Horizon Europe of the twinning. We already have results. So it was announced in 2021. Now, as you saw, the other one will be in 2023. Who is the most successful in twinning? I don't know if you can see. These are the Germany, Spain, Italy, France, so the advanced partners countries. But of course, the coordinator under the twinning has to come from the widening country. But on the it wasn't me. But what is quite important, the success rate within the first call was up to 30%, almost 30%. So it means that if you would like to continue with the twinning, the SYLINDA, you have a real chances to do it. Because the success rates, the budget of the twinning is really significant. And the success rate shows that it's really probable that you will get the money. Here is about as well some excellence hubs. I would like to show you this because it shows how important is industry in Horizon Europe. So you should really think about as well taking on board a representative of industry, in particular small and medium-sized company. This is about the participation of outermost regions, so France, Spain, and Portugal in those widening calls. So you see they are not that significant, but there is a space for this. And this is all on my side. Thank you very much. If I had more time, I could, of course, elaborate much more. Problem. But if you would be interested just in some details, please let me know. Thank you.
Okay.